This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, hi there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, December the 14th, is a Houston Astros legend who surprisingly started his career as a catcher before moving to second base and then the outfield. He's the greatest all-around player in Astros history, started Jeff Bagwell. But anyway, he's the only player ever to be an all-star at both catcher and second base. He was the core of the Killer Bees because his teammates Jeff Bagwell and Lance Berkman also had the last name starting with the letter B and helped Houston do well in the late 90s, early 2000s, getting them to the World Series in 2005. When he retired, he was sixth in NL history in games played, fifth in at-bats, and seventh in runs scored. Sixth in Major League history in doubles, and the second most by a right-handed hitter, which is amazing and all that. He holds several Houston records, such as games, at-bats, hits, runs, doubles, total bases, and extra base hits. He's second in RBIs and stolen bases, which isn't that bad. He's a NL champion in games leading off a game with a home run of 53. He's a four-time Gold Glove winner. He's a legend. All that. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2015 and the first man to be in an Astros uniform. He is Mr. Craig Biggio, who will be 57 today. So Biggio was born in New York State, and he was a passionate baseball player. So he would play baseball for Seton Hall University. Biggio started out as an infielder, but was switched to catcher because Seton Hall needed one. So anyway, he helped with Seton Hall. He actually helped. He was a teammate of Mo Vaughn and John Valentine, both Red Sox people. So anyway, Biggio was picked in the first round of the 1987 draft by the Astros, which was pretty good. Biggio still Seton Hall's leader in triples and second in runs scored. His number 44 was retired by Seton Hall in 2012. Anyhow, Biggio was called up as a catcher midway through the 88 season and became the starting catcher by 1989. He was a good base stealer despite him being a catcher. Anyway, he still did a good job. And the Astros got Jeff Bagwell in that big trade when they got the Red Sox minor league prospect Bagwell for Larry Anderson. So anyway, the Astros looked good. Bagwell did well, and then the pair were the Killer Bees. But then there would be a third B, and that would be Lance Berkman. But the Astros also got other players with their last name starting with B: Derek Bell, Sean Berry, and Carlos Beltran. Anyway, Bagwell and Biggio were the Houston personified. Biggio had a chance to leave for free agency after the 95 season. Colorado and St. Louis were hoping to get him. But Biggio took a 4-year, $22 million deal to stay with the Astros, whereas the Cardinals had a 5-year, $25 million contract on the board. Despite the fact that Biggio was part of the National League All-Star team as a catcher, the Astros converted Biggio to second base by 1992. However, he went to the All-Star game as a second baseman, becoming the first player to do so as catcher and second base. And it was weird. If a catcher changes positions, they usually put him at first base or third base because of, the rigors of being a catcher. But he was a consistent leadoff hitter. He had power. He did his job and all that. Biggio, in 1997, became the fifth player in baseball history not to ground into a double play through an entire season. And in 1998, he was the first player since Tris Speaker to have 50 doubles and 50 stolen bases in the same season. Biggio was a great second baseman defensively and won 4 consecutive Gold Gloves from 94 to 97. Biggio actually never went to the DL until 2000 when he suffered a season-ending knee injury. Biggio would start to suffer because of injuries and all that. the Astros asked Biggio to head to center field on the factor that they signed Jeff Kent as second baseman. Biggio would then go to left field because of Carlos Beltran being added to the Astros. Biggio went back to second base when Jeff Kent left for the Dodgers, so that was good. But he was back in a way. So anyway, Biggio helped the Astros do pretty well. They got the wild card spot and took care of the Braves to make it to the NLCS. Of course, that was the Chris Burke series when he hit that home run against the Braves. And then the Astros shocked the Cardinals in 6 games to get their first trip to the World Series as a franchise. Sadly, though, they got swept by the White Sox. The White Sox swept the Astros even though they had the lowest run scoring differential in World Series history, I guess, for a sweep. Anyway, Biggio was aiming to become a member of the 3,000 hit club. And on June 28th, he did. He was the 27th guy to do so with a single against Aaron Cook. Although Biggio did attempt to turn into a double and was tagged out because he would have got a single. That's a hit. Biggio did his job. In fact, Biggio's mark on June 20th, 2007 was the same day as Frank Thomas hitting his 500th home run as a member of the Blue Jays, mind you. So anyway, he did pretty good for himself and all that. He retired effectively at the end of the 2007 season, I guess, with getting 3,000 hits. He did his job. In his second last game of his career, he was a catcher and caught a pair of innings. But September 30th, 2007, his final game happened. He hit a double in the first inning off of the Braves. Anyway, he was replaced in the top of the 8th defensively, and the fans gave him a massive standing ovation. Biggio would finish his career with 3,060 hits, 668 doubles, 291 home runs, 1,175 RBIs, and a 281 batting average. Biggio has been a special assistant to the Astros GM since 2008. Anyway. So anyway, his number 7 was retired by the Astros in June of 2008. So he did his job. So anyway, Biggio in 2014 had a chance to get into the Hall of Fame, but he missed by 2 votes. He was 2 votes short of making it. It tied them with Nellie Fox when he tried in 1985 and Ty Trainer in 1947 for the smallest margin not to get in the Hall. However, that was just a blip, as Biggio got 82% of the votes for 2015 and was inducted to the Hall of Fame. So, there. Biggio had a lot of problems and all that. You know, his wife has 3 children, Connor, Kate, Kevin, and Quinn. Of course, if you're Canadian, you know who Kevin Biggio is, and he's still with the Toronto Blue Jays despite all the controversy and all that. That maybe he'll be on his way out. But yeah, Biggio did his whole job. His job and a lot of things for the Astros. In fact, Craig and Kevin are the second father-son duo to hit for the cycle ever. Gary Ward and his son Darryl Ward are the other ones. So yeah, he has a lot of things happening and all that. So anyway, he did his job. He holds the record for most regular season games played before his first World Series appearance of over 2,500. For context, that's, 10 years is 1,600. 15 years is 2,400. So like 15 years worth of regular season games before finally getting to the World Series. So that's just crazy. Not like Biggio. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.